a good ball. The flag stays down. Heaney! Oh!
They scored again! It's Davis again! It's job done now.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of the Northern Ireland podcast. Today, as you can see, we're joined by Jim Magilton. Jim, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Looking forward to it.
Well, thank you for your time. First of all, just to say, we wanted to talk about briefly about what you're doing now, obviously in the Irish FA. Tell us a bit about, obviously, your involvement as a lead performance director and then within JD Club NI.
Yeah, we're 5 years ago. I can't believe it's 5 years, but we built a programme around a pathway to England and Scotland for professional clubs and providing a pathway for our best young players. And it's proved hugely successful. We're delighted with the progress of all our young players and the next cohort of players that go at 03. We're looking forward to seeing how they develop over the next couple of years. But it's been an exciting project and one that I think we can still get more from, and hopefully there will be new exciting developments in the next couple of months.
Cool.
Brilliant. So just to get started on your international career, you made your debut against Poland.
I did.
In a 3-1 win. You scored in that game as well?
I did.
Tell us about that.
First of all, it was a huge honour for me, and I'd always dreamt of playing and to get the opportunity. I'd been in a few squads, and Billy infamously, when he was naming the squads, would go around and shake players' hands. So the players used to wind me up and you'd say, if he shakes your hand, you're starting. So on numerous occasions, Billy would shake my hand and inquire into whether I'd had a very warm coat, because I would be sitting in the stands. So, but on this occasion, he shook my hand and he said I was starting, so I was delighted. And then the game was kind of a blur, but I remember we got a penalty. And I remember Colin Clark, who was at that stage chasing the record. He went and got the ball, and me, being me, went, "Thank you very much for fetching that for me, Colin." And that was my debut. And he went, "Really?" And I went, "Yeah." And he went, "Okay then." Oh my goodness. So then I managed to score. And to be fair to Colin Clark, who was an absolute gentleman, he was the first to congratulate me, and it was the most selfless act I think has ever happened to me on a football pitch. So credit to him, and thankfully I scored.
Would you have done that towards the end of your career? Would you have done the same thing?
I'd absolutely not done that towards the end of my career. I'd have just said thank you and done exactly the same thing. Mulroney tried it once at Belgium actually, and I went, "A good one, thank you again, now move." So that was my 2 penalties at my international career.
So the goal scorer that scored the other 2 goals is somewhat unlikely. Jerry Taggart scored the other 2.
I think he was making his debut that night, or he just played his first or second game. But yeah, he was another one that was emerging. There was a pool of talent that was coming through. Young players were emerging. Jerry emerged on the scene like a tornado, to be honest with you, and took to international football like a duck to water, and was a huge influence on the international team for the next 10 years or so.
And then moving on a year later, you're playing Germany. I was saying to Andy before doing this that you're playing in this era when I was a kid growing up, so hearing all these names you played against is amazing.
Yeah.
This is like my encyclopedia of football. So a year later you played Germany, you drew 1-1, and Rudi Voller's playing for Germany. Like, what sort of experience is that when you're playing? I think Michael Hughes scored the opener.
He did. We upset them then. I remember looking at the clock, it was 20 minutes, Werder Bremen. And again, my experiences at that time with that senior international team, I had, huge experience playing alongside me. I had Mal, I had Nigel, Alan McDonald, Jimmy Quinn, Colin Clark, people like that, who had a wealth and had played and represented Northern Ireland at World Cups. So to be around that was huge for me. And I remember Werder Bremen, there was the tunnel, glass tunnel went on to the pitch. And the Germans, who don't get overly excited, were banging on this. And I've gone to the man, it hasn't kicked off yet. So the time to get nervous is when it kicks off. And Matthias and that played in that game, and Tom and Helmer, and just they were outstanding. Guido Buchwald played in the centre of the park, and they just had this unbelievable team at that time. And yes, Hughesy, who again, Megel, was an outstanding talent and managed to score, which upset them to a large extent, I would say. But we were really good on the night, and was Tommy Wright in goal? I can't remember who was in goal, but our goalkeepers have to play well. When we play Germany, they have to play well because they're going to get a lot of work. So we managed to get through that game with a draw. But again, another little insight into what happened after the game. I'm walking again down the tunnel, exhausted. Guido Buchwald's in front of me, who was playing in the centre of the park that night for Germany, was standing there and waiting to hand over the shirt. So I went, "Really, Guido? Take your full kit off. I want the full kit." he was laughing. I went, no, Guido, I am serious. You can have that, but I want the full German kit. Drop your kicks, get the socks off, give me that. So and he did. He loved it. So he gave me the full kit, and then we're just high-fiving and all the rest. I went, yeah, give me that. So I'm not sure I've still got it, but yeah. So that was
worth having a hook around the loft.
It is, definitely.
So have you got loads of full kits rather than just the shirts?
Yeah.
Better reputation than it.
Well, I just loved the German kit for whatever reason, and we managed to play them in lots of the qualifying rounds for Euros and World Cups.
Hi, I'm Laurie Sanchez, and you're listening to the Northern Ireland podcast.
Moving on a few years later, another huge win, 3-0 against Belgium, and you got another penalty in that game.
I did, and I learned Mulroney was playing really, really well at the time, and he went down for the penalty, and I'm not buying into whoever goes down. I'm not buying it. Go get the ball, give it to me, and I'm taking the penalty. Thank you very much, and I move. So, but we had an emerging talent in that team as well. There was lots of lads coming through, the Whitleys, the Mulranes. You know, we still had Michael Hughes, with Damien Johnson, with the emergence of Healy. You know, so there was a nucleus of really, really top players coming through.
What's it like just scoring in Belfast in front of your home fans?
It's panic for a start, and then it's a realisation, and then you go, well, how do you actually celebrate for a goal? Because you don't score that many. So my celebrations were pretty pathetic, I have to be honest. So it was, oh, right, off we go. And then it's that overwhelming feeling, you know, you've scored a goal and you managed to win a game. So it was great. So I think I scored, and every time I scored, we won. I think. Now if I could have scored 30 goals, could you imagine? We qualified every year, every other year. But no, Suzuki couldn't have got me in the box. So that was always a little bit of a downfall.
But then later that year, again, coming back to my encyclopedia of footballer names, you played Portugal, and Portugal have Rui Costa and Figo.
Yeah.
Do you have a full kit of Figos?
No, I have a shirt and it's hanging.
You got Figo's shirt?
I got Figo's shirt. So yeah, that was their golden generation, and there was huge expectations. They had actually won the World Cup at under-17, so that whole team, Couto and Costa and Figo and Sousa, listen, they were an unbelievable team. But again, Hughesy scored out there. Michael Hughes scored in Porto to upset them, and it was the greatest keep ball session by an international team I've ever witnessed. I think it was 25 minutes before I actually touched the ball. I was desperate to take goal kicks. I was just to get a feel of the ball, because once you give the ball away against Portugal, especially that team, it was very difficult to get it back. And we always managed to do well against them. We were always well organised, and we had quality in the team, and we knew that if we had an opportunity, we could take it. So, but they were surreal, unreal experiences.
It always seems to be a leading trend online when we do these and you go through old fixtures, that we always come out well against the big teams. Like you get those, drawing in Germany, drawing against Portugal. Like what is that about? Like it seems to happen through generations.
I think it's this siege mentality. I think, when we come together, I always talked about this club scenario and that club NI theme. When we came together as an international team, there was a club ethos. We we'd known each other for so long, and when we got together, it felt like a club. So when you're pitting your wits against the best players, and they were the best players in the world, we knew that they played really, really well on the night. They beat us, but we wanted to present ourselves. We wanted to give a really good account of ourselves. There was personal pride involved in that, and we raised our game, we raised our levels, and we managed to have this siege mentality, as I say, and do really well.
So moving on to 2002, your last game for Northern Ireland, 0-0 draw against Liechtenstein. Did you know it was going to be your last game at the time? What was going through your head in that game?
Devastation. To be honest with you, we should not draw against Liechtenstein. That was the overwhelming thought after the game. I'm not sure was I captain or was Stephen Lomas back in that team? I can't remember. To be honest, I should, but I can't. It was just no. The honest answer is no. I didn't think I was going to retire then. I retired for personal reasons, family reasons, and it's a decision that haunts me to a large extent. I've made some pretty bad decisions in my football career, as we all do, but that one was one that I was upset at the time, and it was probably an emotional decision. When something concerning your family happens, you kind of like drop everything, and your only focus is on making sure your family's okay. And I made that decision, and I regret that, because Sammy McIlroy brought me back into the fold. I'd had a couple of years in the wilderness, and I was desperate to come back and play, and Sammy gave me a platform to come back and play. So no, I didn't, and devastated after the game. But then, obviously, when the next squad selection came up and I was in the squad, I made the decision then about Spain at home, which, but it was a decision that I came to emotionally and probably regret, but I did it.
So now we're going to move on to the GAWA zone. To do that, we're going to need the amazing,
Brilliant,
Northern Ireland podcast.
we love it. No expense spared.
No.
Love it, lads. Love it. Here we go.
Okay, it's number 9.
Number 9.
That is going to be a voice note that we have here from Glenn.
Hi Jim, Glenn here. 52 caps for Northern Ireland. Would you have liked to get a few more? Thanks.
You've touched on that
Yeah.
a wee bit, but yes, so Glenn, would you like to get a few more?
Yes, 100%. 52 caps was not enough for me. Once I got over the 50 mark, I wanted to go on and go on and go on. I did have one or two disagreements with 2 international managers that just kind of way, halted my international career, and that was disappointing. And again, things that I regret. So I would love to play more.
Brilliant. Thank you, Glenn.
Another spin of the wheel. Big spin. 11 9. 7. So this is one question from Instagram. Who was the toughest player you ever played against?
Oh, there's that many. There are, once you played an international level. Is this an international level?
Yeah.
Okay, so at international level there was that many, because in the area of the park I played in midfield, the best players, and the 10s and whatever else. But you look at Andres Muller, the infamous shot when I found him by the scruff. He was an outstanding player. Mateus, you had Figo, you had Prosinecki, the great Yugoslavia side. Michael Laudrup played. So the list goes on, because every international side midfield was games won or lost, So there were that many, but they're the few that are standouts for me.
And I have to ask on the back of that, toughest player would be what would be the best then shirt you have from all these players that you face?
Well, Figo would be up there. Mateus would be up there. So they were the standouts. Laudrup, I had Laudrup shirt, but think my brother-in-law stole that. And I'm glad you have it on there.
That's not on.
But no, yeah, so those two were just, that little bit above the rest.
Unreal.
Right.
Another spin.
Spin again.
Good 7 and 9 we've had so far.
Oh, right in the middle. Brilliant.
A little bit rigged, isn't it? 7, 8 and 9.
And that is from Baza. He's a podcast favourite. Wouldn't be a podcast without Baza.
Alright, Jim, it's Baza here. In your international career, is there one player you regret not cutting in half on the pitch?
I think to translate that,
Yeah.
it means is there someone you maybe didn't get on with too well?
Against or with?
Well, either or. Yeah. Maybe against.
No, against, it's all the above. So it was all the top players you played against. I remember playing, Didi Hamann played, and I remember thinking, Didi Hamann, he was an unbelievable player because you couldn't get near him. And I played against them for Southampton, I think, and Sheffield Wednesday, and I did okay against them. And I was thinking, right, international for Germany, he was a really, really top player. So I always wanted to have a little nibble at him, and I could never get near him.
Do you think if you were playing against yourself, you would have enjoyed playing against yourself?
Yeah, because I would have known how to annoy me, and that at times could be quite easy. We again in that group of players, we had the Lomases, the Lennons, the Horlocks, the Whitleys, and the Mulrains, and they were all had their own personality and character, and we were all pretty opinionated. And when you're in that sort of dressing room, it pushes you, and it can really instill an attitude of, well, I'm going to be better than you, I want to play. And the competition in that area at that time was pretty fierce. So, and we were all playing at the highest level. So we were all in around Premier League clubs, and turning up, you knew you had to be on your game, which again, when we turned up to international games, you weren't certain you were going to play, which is the way it should be. So, and every manager seeks consistency as long as performances are consistent, and so when you played, you knew you had to play well.
Hi, I'm Michael O'Neill, and you're listening to the Northern Ireland podcast.
Another spin. Odds on the team 6 or 10. 12.
12.
So I reckon Simon Gibson's might open some floodgates here. Who was the biggest joker you played with?
That team were a team of lunatics. So there were jokers. When you turned up there, you had to be on your toes constantly. So there were all sorts of things going on with that group that can never be mentioned. But they were all practical jokers, and the banter game was fierce. So I had roommates. Roommates were Mr. O'Neill, Mr. Dowie for a long time, and Mr. Lennon.
Okay.
So that in itself, my international career was tainted by all three. So we had fun in games, and again, when you turn up, whilst we know we are in the business of winning football matches, and it is very serious, especially at that level. The fun element in our group were such that it, and if you're away for 10 days, or the social side of that is huge, and the banter side of that is huge. And I always remember going back thinking, as much as losing, I hate losing, you could always come back and go, do you know what, it was great seeing everyone, and I can't wait for the next one. So that was always the cherry on the cake for me.
Who was the most annoying out of those three roommates?
Lennon. Lennon used to bring he used to have a bag, so he used to bring 2 bags, all his stuff, right, and his gear was horrendous, right, shocking, and he never paid the electric bill. He couldn't have, because he got dressed in the dark. His sense of clothing was horrendous. And he used to bring a kit bag with a super woofer. That's our far back, a super woofer, right? And then, as when he woke, he just used to play music. So it could have been any time, but he used to put it on. He goes, no, I'm sleeping. He's like, get away. No, I'm up. So,
What's he putting on there?
it was girl band. I'm glad it was girl band. He was, and Sugar Babes along. Turn that off. If you're playing Bruce Springsteen or something, you get away with it. You're not putting the Sugar Babes on at 8 o'clock in the morning.
That's an exclusive.
I hope there's no dance moves. Horrendous.
Okay, so I'll do another quick spin. 14. That is from Jen.
Hi Jim, so what we all really want to know is what's your favourite chippy in Northern Ireland?
I think she said chippy. It sounded like chimney. Didn't it?
It's also a bit like ghost-like.
I have gone up a few. Chimneys. Favourite cafe fish. Oh my goodness. I absolutely love it. I think I'm that regular now. I get Moby Dick on a plate. It's unbelievable. I absolutely love it.
Brilliant. So is that what you're getting every time then?
I get it every time without fail. Just my fish supper. It was the one thing I missed when I went in. It wasn't the same. It just wasn't the same. At Liverpool in the reserves, when I started in the reserves, you had 3 choices after an away game. It was fish and chips, chicken or chips, or pie and chips. That was back in the day. So I often went for fish, and it was horrendous. Horrendous. They can't make a fish supper. There's no way. So when I came home, straight, and because of where the location, the offices were, cafe fish.
Straight over to
class.
cafe fish.
Loved it.
Unreal. But just to ask another question off the back of everything is obviously the current squad.
Yeah.
And B, how do you feel things going? Obviously you're involved with Michael and stuff, and you have been in previous games. How do you feel things are going in the year 2020?
Well, 2-2, superb. I think Michael's strength is his management of players, and the players understand the roles, responsibilities on the pitch, and he's now assembling another squad of younger players, and has integrated them in excellently. You look at Lewis, you look at Jones, you look at Saville, and you look at people like Ollie Norwood too, who has played so many games under Michael. I think he's got won every cap under Michael and has so much experience. And there is obviously young Smithy, Gavin White is emerging. So we've got good young players that Michael has placed into the squad at the right time, and that you align that with the wonderful experienced players that we have in the group, and things are going along very, very nicely. And we're playing a brand of football where it's exciting. We're creating chances, and that's very important. We're not hanging on in games. What I have noticed in the group is that they don't panic. They allow the game to come to them. There is a confidence and a belief that they're going to create a chance. And the huge confidence that must give the dressing room, the huge confidence they have in their manager and his staff, that has really been developed over a number of years. So I'm excited. About what's going to happen next.
And kind of making this full circle, started with JD Club and I, and back to it now, is there kind of not a pathway, kind of an ethos that starts at JD Club and I that goes through the Northern Ireland setup, obviously with you and then Stephen Frail and Barraclough, and what's the kind of, how does that work?
Well, we all play similar systems, and as I said to you, the club NI thing came about this club ethos at international level. So we're creating a pathway for our best players, and our best players in Northern Ireland work with their clubs, They have to work with their club. They have to work with us. The best players have to work with their club and work with us to give them the equivalent contact time that a boy of the same age will be getting at a professional club in England, in Scotland. We're doing the very best with the resources we have, both at club and at international level, to prepare them for life in professional football and life as an international footballer. So we'll work off similar systems as the international manager will work from. And in fact, we just had an international meeting yesterday to discuss all things about the next group and how we dealt with recent tournaments. And it's this continuous communication that is key for us. And our talent pool will not change dramatically. We will have eligibility players, but we are very, very thoughtful of homegrown players who have come through the international pathway and have this identity.
As someone that spent a lot of time with you set up in Northern Ireland, is there a young player that excites you in the senior setup at the minute coming through?
Yes, there is, and it would be unfair to name him because I love them all. Yeah, there are, and we have green shoots that are coming through that are exciting, but it's the first step, and are they ready? I hope they are. Do I know for certain they're going to have a career in the game? No. The man that turned water into wine isn't going to be able to tell you that either. So we're hoping, we're developing a programme, then handing our trust over to clubs in England and Scotland to develop them further. What we'll provide is an international pathway, our 17s, our 19s, our 21s, our senior. And we've always said, and Michael's has always said, that if you're playing regular first team football, regardless of your age, you'll jump through our 19s, you'll jump through our 21s, you'll represent Northern Ireland probably earlier than any of the other associations. So we don't hamper our young players. If you're playing at a level where you come into Michael's radar, you'll get an opportunity. So we're hoping that the programme we put in place will give them that confidence and self-esteem to walk in anywhere and say, right, I'm a young player from Northern Ireland. I know exactly what you're talking about over 4 pillars, technically, physically, psychologically. Yeah, ask me the question or let me deliver because I have the confidence to go and do that. So that's the main directive about our programme.
Brilliant.
Well, that's kind of everything we wanted to cover today. I feel like we could go in a lot more depth another time. Maybe it would be amazing. But thank you, obviously.
Pleasure.
Absolute pleasure for your time.
Perfect.
Just to say to everyone, thanks again, obviously, for watching and listening. But you can watch back our previous episodes on YouTube, on iTunes, and Spotify. But for now, and you can find out who our next guest will be just by listening after the end of this. Goodbye.
Armstrong! Northern Ireland has scored through Jerry Armstrong.
It's a good ball. The flag stays down. Heaney! Oh!
They scored again! It's Davis again! It's job done now.